Yeah, so a very warm welcome to everyone today joining. And so we do all every Saturday at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. We do these sessions, open dialogue sessions, where sometimes we have themes and sometimes it's just sharing our deep experiences, sharing our challenges and a willingness to learn through those challenges. Like an earthworm, it converts all the toxic material into compost. So can we go through each and every experience of life and learn through it, progress through it, no matter how hard it may be? So today's session, I thought, why not give it a theme? Just going through again my own personal experiences. So I gave it a theme today, that go through it and grow through it. So can we allow ourselves? I think we cannot but allow ourselves. We don't have any choice actually to go through deeply all our experiences and also to progress through each and every experience, no matter how low in social terms that experience might be. Because since we keep on judging all the time, we judge our experiences also. So can we allow space for everything to exist? People may have their opinions, I may have my judgments, and I may go through really troubled waters, challenges, and yet also have the courage to break, shatter at moments, and yet to go through it and grow through it. And that's what connects us with the Kabir's warrior spirit. Kabirji talks of a surma, a warrior on this spiritual path. And it is impossible without being a warrior. And we are all warriors. It's not that some of us are more warriors than others. So it's impossible without that warrior spirit, which we call human spirit, that no matter how down we go with a challenge, there is something beautiful that rises up through that challenge. Yeah. So my name is Monica and I'm from Living Light. I think most of us are aware. Let us start with the session, and I would invite each and every one of why we are here today, and if we could nicely, maybe shortly share about our experiences of going through the challenge and growing through it. So that would be nice for each one of us to hear about each other's experience. Yeah. So I'll just mute myself now and let us take a pause, and whoever feels ready, if you resonate with the topic, if you have any connection with your own personal experience that you would like to share, it would be really nice to hear. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone who feels ready? I can also talk. I usually talk a lot and I don't have troubles with talking, but it's also nice to listen to experiences, to just allow ourselves to share. So I'll begin the sharing, and then at any moment of time, whenever we feel comfortable, we can just unmute and share. Yeah. So I had been going through an experience, and it's really strange how the mind keeps on judging each experience. It's like as if it's a mechanical default mode that is going on, that first we go through experiences, which we all of us go through, and then something in me keeps on judging that experience, that, oh, it's a good kind of an experience, oh, it's a bad thing, you should not be doing that. And in that, I feel a lot of drainage also happens in this constant default judging of our experiences. So I was wondering that a lot of shame, lot of guilt, and what will people think of me, what kind of a person I am, while we know in our depths that we are no different from each other. All of us are, although unique, and yet we are so similar that we just know each other very closely. If I know myself, I would know you, to a large extent. And this knowing ourselves grows. It's not that at one point of time I can say that, okay, now I know myself, no further going. But it's not like that. It's like, if there is a tip of an iceberg and I know only the tip, beneath the water so much is lying, which we are unconscious of, unaware of. So as I grow beneath deeper layers of my own being, inner movements, I know myself more. And in that knowing myself more, I also connect with others in a deeper manner. So I was just wondering upon my own experiences and thinking that we actually have no choice but to really allow ourselves to plunge into any experience that we are going through. No matter shame may come up, guilt may come up, any kind of a judgment may come up, let it come up. Be just present to every experience, inner movement coming up, and just allow oneself to kind of, go through it. Just like when we are swimming, we go through the water. And just imagine that this water is all the experiences that we are having. And we allow ourselves to steer through the water. And I have no choice, because as a human being, we learn, we progress through our experiences. Many a times where they're very, very hard, very challenging experiences, emotionally, mentally conflicting experiences. And we almost break, we shatter down to pieces at times. And can we allow even that? Can we allow the shattering to happen? Can we allow the breaking, all the weaknesses, all the uglinesses to show up and still be there by our side as our bestest friend? And see what the experience has to give me. And every experience is there to give us something, to transform us into something new. And if I resist the experience, then I'm also resisting somehow my transformation. Although it's very hard, but then it's my choice. The longer I resist any experience, I feel, the longer I resist my own transformation. I remember one story I heard, and after that I'll stop again. Mullah Nasruddin, he once went out to a inn and he stayed there in the inn for some time. And he left his umbrella there. And halfway through, back towards his home, he remembered that, oh my God, I have forgotten my umbrella there. So he goes back and sees in that very room where he stayed, there was somebody else. There was a couple inside that room. So he listened to that conversation. There was a conversation going on. So the male in that room, he asked, who does it, whose are these pretty eyes? And the female says, these are yours. So then he asked, whose are these pretty, the hair? And the female says, these are yours, these belong to you. And immediately Mullah Nasruddin shouts, that before you come to the umbrella, remember that it is mine, not yours. So I think it's just like we do to when we are very happy, when we are having a good time, really nice time. We say, okay, this is mine, this is mine. But when I'm going through a tough challenge, really tough challenge, then I don't want it. I don't want it. I run away from it. Because experiences can become really, really challenging. Mental, emotional level can be really challenging. So it's really weird to see that if I allow the happiness to come in, if I allow the happy times to come in, and I say, yes, this belongs to me, then can I not, is this possible for me that I shoo away the painful times, the challenging times? I cannot do that. I have to accept each one of it. With pleasure comes pain. Somehow that is where we are collectively at human consciousness. So if I allow the pleasure to be, if I allow pleasure to be in my life, can I also have the courage? I know it needs a lot of courage, not easy, depends on what kind of a situation one is going through. uh, can I allow the pain to be? Can I grow through that pain? Yeah. And all of us would, please share, how challenging and painful experiences have allowed you to grow, maybe allowed you to become a better version of yourself, maybe transform yourself in some or the other manner. And all that matters is, towards the end of the day, has it made me more softer? Has it made me more loving, kind, compassionate? Has it made me more stronger within, inner strength? uh, has it made me connect with more of humanity, or the living, non-living beings around the earth? And if it has, then all of it is worth it, no matter how loudly I may cry while going through the experience. Yeah. So please, I would request, many of us are really uh, old enough to share our experiences. I would not say that the young ones are not having experiences. They also have, and they must share. So anyone who feels want to share their growth through their challenges, or any collective reflection you want to put forward to, most welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk. Um, so I think you know already that um, like I moved cities and all that. So my friend is also joining, Liz. so uh, so the thing is that I mean you kind of know, so for others I will say this, that I have been trying to move away from the kind of work I used to do. But I mean, I have not yet been really successful in that. And there are practical aspects also which one needs to look at, and all of those things. So that's still there. But what I think, with this acceptance of this pain, what has happened is that I know that you know that's just one part of my life now. That's not my whole existence. You know. So, for example, with this change, what I was discussing with Liz. Liz is also here, so she would also know this, that with like, for example, I will I have I want to learn this new language. I A new culture, and might not be the culture where I am right now in. I also want to learn something else, through studies or whatever. So through this, I think this is a spiritual experience for me, that there are such minute details of a culture, of a language, where you kind of you it's not about just learning. It's about finding yourself in that language, in that culture, and that becomes like a extremely beautiful and wholesome experience. And so, like, I did not have any experience with animals per se. Nothing, like, I never had a pet, nothing. And I was not like, it's not that I used to really dislike, but there was nothing as such. I'm more towards plants, and there is a particular kind of love which I feel towards plants and all that, but animal is not. But now, with since the time I've moved in here, because there are animals around me, I feel that there is a non-verbal communication which is happening, and that that itself gives me joy of waking up every day, in spite of the work that I'm doing right now, because I have to do for some time at least. I am finding that's okay, that's fine, that's a part of my existence. There is new things which are happening, and through them I'm becoming more whole. My fragments are getting connected to each other once again. I think this is something which I would like to share as of now. This is what is coming to my mind. And uh, I mean, so I know that there are things because I've done that course. There are things which probably I should do, like more meditation, which I'm not doing right now. But I think it's okay if I'm not doing. I'm accepting that I'm not doing it.
Yeah, Ashpriya, we lost you. Are you there? I think maybe some internet issue there.
Sorry,
Yeah, we lost you. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I just was saying that that whole realization that it's what was I saying? I mean that there was a
Uh,
flow.
you were talking about this expansion that you are feeling. And
So
then
I'm saying that
you were talking about that I'm not doing meditation.
yeah, I mean I know that there is inner work, and but I think this is also inner work in a way that my whole life can become a prayer, a meditation. I Because I had tried doing meditation before, and I'm not saying it doesn't work. There are things which I can do more, but as of now, this is also a very beautiful thing that is happening.
Yeah, that's really beautiful what you shared, Aspriya. And Sri Aurobindo says all life is yoga. So it's not that only 20 minutes or 5 minutes what I am doing meditation can be considered yoga and rest all is just ordinary. It's not like that. And in Savitri, there is one line, Savitri, the epic poem by Sri Aurobindo. There is one line where he shares our errors are his steps on the way. So whatever ugliest of our experiences, ugliest, meanest, cheapest of our experiences are nothing but his steps on the way. I think that really uh, gives us a lot of certitude that no matter how wrong one may go, which we go in human consciousness, we go so called, so socially wrong, ethically wrong, morally wrong. We do all kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's really amazing the way it is designed, this whole divine mystery, that we can never really go anti-divine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just certitude that this road is only one. The road is only one way which leads us to this union with the divine consciousness. In other words, growth of our consciousness, which you were sharing beautifully, that I feel expanded. I feel I am a bit more. So this, I think this is what it's about, this progression, constant progression through our life experiences, whether it happens through meditative experiences or on the ground. I think it must happen on the ground, because I cannot say that, okay, 30 minutes of meditation, I had a beautiful violet or golden light, and after that I really feel lost. I mean, what's the fun? So each day of our life, each moment of our life, if that can become meditative itself, that can become yoga. I think that's what you were sharing. That's so beautiful, I think, first, and also very powerful, that that one, as you were sharing, I look forward to life, I look forward to each day. What can be more beautiful than that? So
Yeah. So
yeah.
in this, so I think Liz will also agree to this that there are a lot of hurdles that I'm facing, that she's also facing, because she has to deal with a lot of pain otherwise, because she actively deals with animal rescue and all of that. So the thing is that there are a lot of hurdles that emotionally I'm feeling, but but in spite of that, it's not like it's not that the life is just that is what I feel, that's something which is being given for a reason, which I'm not yet understanding probably. But that's it, that's one part of it, but there is so much more, which I've been given, which every one of us actually have been given, just that we forget it. This constant reminder is beautiful, if we can give us, in some form or the other. I think, and even this particular meeting so many people online. Earlier we never could have thought that we could meet online and discuss something like this. But this is so beautiful.
Yeah. Regarding these hurdles, I was talking to someone today, and I feel that each one of us as a human being, we have our set of issues. So there may be 10 places where I am not really attached, where they don't trouble me at all.
Mm.
And then there are 100 places where I do get troubled.
Mm.
And this is our raw material. Just like an earthworm, converts the toxic waste into compost, makes it something usable, utilizable. Just like that, as an earthworm, we have to use all that raw material of soft spots wherever I get troubled, wherever I get challenged, wherever things get really, really heavy for me, so that I use it as a raw material for my growth. Okay, what is it trying to tell me? What is it trying to tell me? And the ways can be infinite number of ways in which I can actually bring the lesson out from that toxic waste.
Yeah.
Infinite number of ways. For some, it can be just a dream. In a dream, you wake up one day and you realize, oh my God, that's why that trouble existed in my life. Yeah. And then Sri Aurobindo also says that it's not that one trouble you will be able to resolve in one day. He writes in his poem, which I have pasted here. I'll just read it out for each one of us. All that was found must again be sought. Each enemy slain revives. Each battle forever is fought and refought through vistas of fruitless lives. A voice cried, go where none have gone. Dig deeper, deeper yet, till thou reach the grim foundation stone and knock at the keyless gate. So he says that once you think that you have thrown away a kind of a weakness or a something that you had which was troubling you outside, like you have rejected it, it goes into the environment, it goes into the universal container, and from there it comes up again through another experience. Yeah. Then if it has not gone there, it sinks into the subconscious, in our deeper layers. And then from there, it tries to emerge every time it gets an option. Yeah. So it's really like every time I face a challenge, I face a difficulty, I get to know more about my own self, my own inner movements, and the battle continues. It's an ongoing journey or self-discovery, one can say. Yeah. So I think it's really mysterious, the whole thing, and we can just gradually, we can just surrender to the mystery if possible in each moment and learn through it, in whatever little bit and piece that we learn through it. Yeah. And Mother also says that all difficulties lie within you. So if I am actually facing a difficulty, I have to really be very, very observant. As we were discussing, all life is yoga. I have to be very, very observant. Okay, where, what is it that I'm not able to get here? Okay, where do I need to progress? What is the thing that it wants to show me? And at times it can be really challenging. You, as if there is a blind fog in front of you, which is not letting you see. So it's my own part. It's my own movement that is leading to a difficult situation, but I am blinded by it. I can't locate it. And that's where we need help from each other, maybe friends to whom with whom we can kind of, brainstorm or ask, do you see anything which I am not able to see here? Or another thing, many ways I was sharing, that you write it down, okay, this is what I am facing, and you ask the higher intelligence, you tell me, what am I missing? Where do I want to progress, which I'm not able to see? And we may get the answer. We just get the answer. Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyone else, and anything to share? What Ashpriya was sharing, any resonance with that or your own experience? Ayush is also, I think, joining for the first time. So Ayush, we are just talking about our own challenges and how they have either stayed with us or made us grow. And if you have anything to share at any moment of time, please share. Yeah.
May I say this?
Yes, Sulakshna ji, please. Yeah.
Monica, this was years ago. I mean, I remember the time when we had very, very difficult financial constraints. We were thrown out of the house and whatever. I mean, I don't want to go there, but we didn't have anything. And we didn't know how to handle life. There were two of us and my little daughter, who was just 3 at that time. And of course, with God's grace, I've always, kind of had a very strong leaning towards faith. And I used to really, really pray, not for money or anything, but to help me realize, that, and to be able to handle this difficulty. And of course, we came out of it, whichever way we did. But I did realize one thing at that time, it was some years where I wouldn't even buy anything for my kids. Or as they were growing, I wouldn't even, give them money to buy a movie ticket because I said, we can see it together on a DVD. But then I realized that when we were doing this togetherness, firstly, as a family, we came together, just sitting over a bowl of popcorn and just watching a DVD. Instead of going out somewhere, we were just going to India Gate to sit there and play together. But we all came together and we all realized, what it is to be without finances also. And I think I'm so grateful, this feeling that whenever somebody's in need, I always pray, let me be a channel that if you want me to give, it's yours. You have given it a little to me. If I'm meant to give it, please let me open my heart, my hand, everything. And it's always been such a, such grace, I think. Whenever I've said this, there's always been some way I've been able to give whatever he has given to me. And I think both my kids also, with God's grace, have really grown up like this then. Because we used to tell them that no matter how, of course they grumbled at that time, I won't deny that. Of course I felt bad at that time. But how we came out of it is such a blessing, such a blessing. And now also, like you said just now, that please surrender and ask, why is this happening? Like I'm having a lot of spinal issues, my neck is paining, my lower back, sacral, the joints are paining. I'm going for physio, but they can't really find out the reasons why. And yet, like listening to you just now, I realized that, yes, this is what I need to do. I need to really, really, really pray. Not why it's happening, but what I need to learn from here and how to address it the best. So thank you so much. I'm so glad you said that. I really needed to hear that. Bless you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lakshmi ji. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. Again, quoting Savitri, there is another line in Savitri where he says, Sri Aurobindo says that all the chance events that happen in our life. And we all have our share of chance events, which happened in our life. And as if, he shares that it is his plan working itself out in his own mysterious ways, which we later look back, like you were sharing, your experience of not buying a movie ticket for separately for everyone, rather watching it on a DVD together. So it's only in retrospect, when we look back on those coincidence or chance events, that they appear, oh my God, that's what we needed, maybe. That's what brought us together or close together. So it's really amazing. And with Sri Aurobindo and Mother, there are so many experiences of sadhaks, how they kind of stumbled upon maybe Sri Aurobindo or Mother, or maybe met someone by chance, just like walking, and they just met someone, and okay, and that person led them to their guru or master, or maybe allowed them to unfold their own life. So it's really mysterious, the ways, I think the more we go into this mystery, divine mystery, there is nothing but wonder, ये किसने, कौन है ये creator, इसका मतलब, it's such beautiful grand design, and we can do nothing but surrender ourselves in front of its grandness, and the mystery. And the more close we go, the deeper we go, and the higher we go. Yeah. So, okay, Yachika has something here. I'll just read it out for everyone, and we can share our reflections. So she's sharing, do these prayers get answered? I struggle with this question. Yeah. It's very interesting, Yachika. So I'll just create a situation, and then you see if it resonates with what you are sharing. Now, I am undergoing a very difficult phase. It's emotionally overwhelming. It's mentally overwhelming. It may be spiritually overwhelming for me, and physically also. And I feel really helpless, as if what to do, how to get off this pain, because it's just bringing too much of pain, too much of misery. I just cannot, I don't know what's the way forward. And in that, knowing no other way, you pray. That's how we pray usually. First of all, we want to make our things work. And then when nothing is working, somehow that's our way. That's how we come to prayer. That when nothing is working, no help is being given to me externally, something in me bubbles out in praying that, oh my God, there must be something more than me. And to that something more, we pray. Now, your question is, do these prayers get answered? I think experiment with it. Because whatever experience we will share here will be our personal individual experience. And that does not bring any solace to you. Because if your prayers are not getting addressed, and mine are, for example, I'm just giving you an example, how does it matter? How does it matter to you? How does it change your life? So for you to experiment with your own self is very important for all of us. We can get inspired from others' experiences. Definitely, that's what books do. That's what these talks do. Yeah. But unless it becomes my practical experience, the book has nothing for me to offer. Yeah. So can we allow ourselves to do that? If I really want to see the power of a prayer, or maybe whether it addresses my answer or not addresses the question, or maybe it leads me to something, I don't know, there or there, who knows what a prayer does. Yeah. And it's a beautiful life if we experiment with it. If we allow ourselves to break our older patterns and to allow to experiment. Yeah. And it's really amazing. And I'm sure all of us would resonate, with those of us who have gone through painful experiences, that it's in the pain, it's in the middle of the pain that a beautiful prayer arises from the being. Such is the mystery. That's how we learn to pray. As if it's a crack that happens in our heart, and it opens us to some sunlight. That here you go, there, this is what you needed. Otherwise, Kabir ji says, aisa aisa kiwad to hivde pe jadiya. He says, how many doors, how many locks you have put on your heart. So for those locks to open, breaking is necessary. And pain is a hammer of God to break, again quoting Savitri's lines, Sri Aurobindo's Savitri's lines, pain is the hammer of God to break the dead resistance in mortal's heart. And we need to, I think, allow ourselves to have that crack, go through that pain, have that crack, so that a little bit of love and light passes through. So experimenting, yeah. Yes. Abhishek is sharing related question, how to deal with prayers not being answered. So, okay, let us talk about it. What do I mean by prayer being answered? Yeah. Okay, I'll take a very simple example and not make it so complicated. I'm craving for a chocolate. I am, say, addicted to a chocolate. I am craving for it. I'm not finding it anywhere. And if you know addiction, you would know what I feel right now. Yeah, I'm not finding it anywhere. It's hard. I feel I'll die without it. Now I am roaming around on streets. There is no shop that has the chocolate that I want. Yeah, I'm dying within. So I pray, oh, please, please give me that chocolate that I want. Why are you so cruel? Why are you not giving that chocolate? And I don't get the chocolate. I roam around whole night, walking on the streets, and I don't get the chocolate. I go back home, empty, unfulfilled, and I sleep. Now, would you say the prayer was answered, or would you say the prayer was unanswered? What would you say? Had it been better for me, had the chocolate been granted? Or was this better for me, that I learned how to be without a chocolate? So this is what I would say here, that what the higher, which is our own part, which is my own being, what the higher wants from us is this progress, which is, okay, now let me know, can you now be without any chocolate and be okay? So I will say next day, yes, I can be okay. A baby step. And now what would you answer, whether my prayer was answered or not answered? Yeah.
Hi, Monica.
Yes, Abhishek.
Yeah, I'll share what came to my mind. So, as an example, obviously, we know chocolate is not good for health. But for example, let's say I have a friend, we are giving our 12th examinations, we are trying to prepare to get admission to a prestigious college. I'm preparing as hard as I can, as much as I'm capable. But I'm praying that, I want to get admission in this XYZ college, because, once you get admission in this college, your life is sorted, or that's the college that I want to learn in. And suppose I'm praying for myself, I have one friend who is also studying and he's praying, but his prayers get answered, but my don't. And then you have the question, right? Like, what did he do right that his prayer is being answered, but I am suffering, which in my opinion is unfair for me. So at that night, when the results come, he gets to sleep peacefully. He's happy. He gets congratulated by everyone. And I might have to wait one more year to try, or maybe because, the direction which I take in life might change. So in this, it doesn't necessarily feel like, you know, a prayer not being answered led to something good. It was something that would have helped me. So,
Beautiful. Yes, I understand your example now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So Abhishek, यहाँ पे what we are, so the basic opinion that I have, idea that I have is, if I follow this and this way, then only my life is going to be, really beautiful. Else it's going to be really, I don't know what. Yeah. And if we see our limited mind, our mind is like, imagine that you have the example that I used is that, imagine that you have a little insect. You are looking at it with a magnifying glass. Yeah, looking at it. With magnifying glass, you see some aspects of the insect. Now you bring in microscope. You're looking at it. You see more. Now you bring in electron microscope. You see even more. You get further instrument which sees even better than the microscope. You see even more. Now our mind is like a magnifying glass. The way we look at our life situations or experiences is just this much, that oh my god, if I do this, then only my life is going to be really great, else I don't know what. Yeah. Now what happens is that since I don't know really what is good for me, there can be discussion about what is good for us. What do we call as good? Anything that progresses me, anything that makes my consciousness grow, expand, makes my thresholds cross, is good for me. While what we have a definition of good is, if things go according to my plan, that's what is good. So that's where we come to what you were sharing, that I had a plan that I should get admission in Cornell or whatever. My friend did those prayers and prepared, and he got through it. His prayers got answered. Yeah. So the premise is that was the way which was good for me. Now here I am with the similar preparation, even more intelligence, but my prayers did not work. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Yeah. So I think there is where we need to little kind of settle down that vital energy, that upsurge of energy and emotions, that do I really know what is coming now after not getting admission in Cornell is really going to be not good for me? Do I really know? Can I say with surety? I cannot. We cannot. Yeah. So there comes like an openness. Okay, let me see whatever life has in front of me. I will try, karma yoga. We will have to try. We will be working out actions. But whether they fall according to my plan or whether it changes course is something which is a mystery. That's why we call this a divine mystery, a grand mystery. That whatever I think of as a chance event, now your friend getting admission and you failing is a chance event. Yeah. That's what is shaping you. But I don't have the larger picture. The mind does not have the larger picture. So I suffer, I frustrate myself. Oh my God, that's not happening. What I designed was is not happening. What will happen? What will happen? So there comes kind of, okay, let me see. Maybe there is another plan for me. I don't know. Can I allow myself to be open? Yeah. So I don't know if that resonates with what you were sharing, and if there is anything, please feel free to share.
Monica, may I add a little to this?
Yes, please.
I think you answered this yourself a little while ago at the very beginning of the session, when you said that it's only in retrospect that we realize how good a particular situation or an incident was for us. And like Abhishek said, about getting into the university, I remember my daughter who, when she finished her school, She wanted to, you know, bhed chal. Everybody was doing BCom honors, so mujhe bhi BCom honors karna hai. And she was falling short of just 2%. And she wept and she cried and she wouldn't listen to anyone. But then, to cut the story short, finally, one of my cousins, who's a lecturer, persuaded her that, look, do something else where your interest might be a little bit. So anyway, she took psychology. And when she did her psychology honors, she found it so interesting. She went on to do her master's. And with God's grace, she's a gold medalist in it. And she got a wonderful placement thanks to that. And she's really enjoying it. And now when she looks back, she says it. She says, I realize now that maybe BCom wasn't meant for me. There was a higher power who knew better than I did. So I just wanted to share this, you know.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shulakshana ji. Yeah.
I want to add a note
Yes,
here.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, sometimes my intentions are good. If it hurts, please do not take to heart. Generally, I don't depend on prayer.
Rajaji, can you put on your video, because your voice is not really clear, and if you put on the video, it will be better for us to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
Yes, Rajaji, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, prayers is, I always say prayers is not a choice. I always avoid, because we have all the instruments with us, the intellect, the body, the surroundings, the opportunities. So you give yourself 100% to the situations, and am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Rajaji, go ahead, please. Yeah. Yes, you're
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah. So are you really sure that you have put in 100% what you can do? That question to be answered first before we go for praise. Take the prayer route as the last resort. Like if you take our classical epic like Gajendra Moksha, the elephant fought for thousands of years before it finally gives up. So unless we put ourselves 100%, generally there is no need for prayers. If you start utilizing your intellect, your capabilities, your opportunities, exploring your opportunities. So go back to situations, think yourself like, what went wrong? How I could do that in a different way? So what is that lesson I learned from my previous mistake or the failure? So actually that really helped me in my life rather than prayers. Of course, prayers are there. It is a kind of a backup thing, not the main course of life. There are situations really makes you to pray. See, for example, when my mother met with that cerebral hemorrhage and she was in ICU, that's where, you know, I cannot do anything because I'm not a doctor. I don't have any miracle medicines with me, or I can do nothing. Even if I wish, I can do nothing. So that is the situation. I prayed. it worked, actually. It worked for me. I prayed, like, I never asked anything, please help me. Maybe I might have asking very less often. So it helped me. My mother came out of that serious situation, and at least she was alive, but not full healthy, but she was alive. So it should be that kind of situation for prayers, not day-to-day stuff. That's what I believe. So before you go to prayers, you give yourself 100%. Take that as the last route. This is my just my thoughts.
Thank you, Rajaji.
Yeah.
I think what you are sharing, what I connect this with is, for example, the mother of Pondicherry. She shares that for those of us who cannot use the word divine, she gave another word, which was perfection. So if you cannot really connect with the word divine, you connect with the word perfection. Now, when you are saying that give yourself 100%, give yourself fully to the job that you are doing, I think what it is connecting me to is, can we offer ourselves to whatever you are doing? I think that's striving towards perfection. And perfection is something, I can never touch perfection. Like it's a glass, here, and I say, here, now I am perfect. It can never be like that. Because the moment I am here, perfection moves further. The moment I am here, perfection moves further. So it's like divine, the moment I touch one truth, I see that there is more. The moment I touch one, I see that there is more. So just like when we talk or explore the word divine, we see that it's infinite. The divine is infinite. The divine is unknowable. The more I know, the less I know. And just like that perfection, the more closer I get to perfection, the more I see, oh my God, there is more possible. There is more possible. There are stories of musicians, in India, from India, who on their deathbed, I think Pandit Bismillah Khan, who was, this Shanai player, if I'm not wrong, it's his story that he was on his bed, not really well, and he's crying, he's in tears. So this fellow who is his friend, he comes to him and asks, Panditji, why are you crying? What happened? And he says, oh my God, I have whole my life I have spent in music, and I now realize that I don't even know Ga of Sare Gama. That I could have gone really deeper, really, plunged it into more beautifully. And that's what perfection is. So a person who has been a world renowned musician, put forward each breath of his, in music, he is saying that I don't know the Ga of Saregama, and this is what it is, that even when we talk of prayers, in prayers, there are many kinds of prayer. One kind of prayer is that I am saying, okay, give me what I want. Give me what I want. I want the health of my mother back or my father back. Okay, give me, so this is a bargain like prayer. That's what we do mostly. Another kind of prayer may be that just give me the strength to go through this challenge and allow me the necessary progress, open my eyes to what I am missing. That's another kind of prayer that can be. So where are we? And I'm not saying that I think we are here or there all the time. At times we want something to happen, so we pray intensely, and we must, why not? And the other thing, last thing I want to touch upon, based on Rajaji's whatever he was sharing, is that one thing is that I use the prayer as last resort. The other thing which we could again experiment with is, which I experiment with, again coming from my own experience, can I pray first and do later? How would it change my life? Like, for example, I come for a session. One technique is, okay, I take the session and I at the end of the session, I feel, no, I think could be better. And then I pray, give me the grace to have a good session. Okay. Or the other thing is, I already bow down. I say, this session belongs to you. This is my offering to you. You take care of the session. So this is happening before the work is done. How would it change the process of work? Or would it change at all? So that's something for those of us, I'm sure some of us may have experimented with already. It's not something new that I am sharing. But I think it, in my personal experience, when I pray first, when I offer the task to something higher than me, something changes in my doing or my, the effort. And what changes is for all of us to practically see what changes. Yeah. So let us take up something from Yachika we have here. Yachika is sharing, I find it hard to face the challenges with grace. With you, Yachika, totally. All of us are with you. I tend to become very bitter. Yeah. Yeah. So we go through bitterness. That's what we are talking today. We go through bitterness. We have a taste of bitterness. Okay, what is bitterness like? We will not run away from bitterness. Yeah. And grace is something, we are not born with grace, or if I can say, yes, we are born with grace. Maybe we lose it in time, over time we lose it. But yeah, that's how it is. Somehow the human journey, it is like that, look at a child, look at a newborn infant, full of grace and innocence. That's what at least I see in little children. And slowly we ruin it. Or maybe that's how the process is, I don't know. Yeah. And then going through my experiences, going through the bitterness, letting the bitterness show me what it has to show, I find next time maybe a bit of grace going through the challenge.
Yeah, it's really a good thought.
Yeah. So it's like, we are becoming more like space, a space allow things to be. I allow bitterness to be because it wants to be tasted. Why is it there? The universe has already said yes to bitterness. That's why it is manifesting. Now the little self that we are, it resists. Oh my God, bitterness should not be there. Why is it there? I'm not feeling nice about it. So we keep on resisting the bitterness. And in that, we shove away the experience that bitterness is here to give me. Maybe bitterness wants to show me how to love. Who knows what experience bitterness has? Maybe bitterness wants to show me how to be more kind and compassionate. Yeah, so I think the first line that you share, all of us would agree. No one faces the challenge with grace. We all learn through our experiences to face it with more and more grace. Yeah. And the second, if you become bitter, if we become bitter, let us go through bitterness. Let us taste it fully. Yeah. And then maybe, I don't know what happens. So it's like maybe an abandoned child who is crying, in front of you. And
Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
Yeah. So you just embrace the child. You allow the child to be. He just wants to be seen. He wants to be embraced. That, okay, I am allowed to be here.
See, whenever I got into a dead-end situation,
Rajaji, your voice is a bit inaudible. I'm not able to really decipher what you are saying. So I have to really stress my ears. Can you change something? Maybe your
I don't have any option to change anything. Am I audible now?
or maybe you try removing the headphones. I don't know, because something is wrong and the voice is not clear.
We don't have power, like electricity.
Okay,
If
that's
it's
okay.
going on battery backup, maybe that could be the reason. Am
Okay.
I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible, but the voice was a bit muffled. Yeah, please share what you have to share, please.
Yeah, what I was trying to share is, so whenever I got into the dead end situation, like this is the end. I could not see anything beyond that. And I passed through the pain phase for some time. So, once that phase is over, I could see more possibilities and I could see wide open actually. So it is like passing through a black hole. So there was a belief like if you pass through a black hole, you can see another universe. So I think power is resumed. Am I audible better now?
Yeah, your voice is audible. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. So whenever we get that situation like a dead end situation, I always suggest face it, enjoy it, pass through that, because once that phase is over, you will be put into more opportunities. You can explore more. You can get more out of it. So I was several times it happened to me. The very first time when I get that kind of situation, I felt like this is the end of my life. But actually, that is the new beginning of your life. So maybe because of that reason, because of that multiple situations I passed through, I got into a kind of strength, like I gained strength from that situations. I learned that nothing to worry. There is nothing to worry. Everything will be all right. That's a temporary phase, whatever we always get into, because those are the real stepping stones to reach towards the goal. That could be a materialistic goal or a spiritual goal. So, but giving 100% of yourself, whatever it could be the situation, that always desired and it is required.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Beautiful. Yes. I think it's really resonates what you were sharing, that when we are going through this middle of this black hole, almost what you shared, that as if it's a dark passage many a times in our experiences, and we really do not see any light. And then after some time, we are on the other side. We have been newborn, as you were sharing.
Yeah, we are into a new universe altogether, because
Yes.
see, when you born into a new universe, obviously you have to pass through that painful part.
Yes. Yes, Rajaji. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Like Sulakshna madam, I believe, she
Yeah.
told that her daughter passed through that painful path and now she is enjoying, right?
Yes. So So Yachika has something here. I'll just read it out for everyone. She's quoting Jim Carrey. I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer. And then she's asking, then what's the answer? Yachika, that would depend on what's your question. Nahin? Do we have any question? And because each one of us may have a different question depending on the path that we have in our life. And before asking what's the answer, can I frame my question actually? What is it that I am looking for? What is it that I'm seeking? Because it's really amazing that each one of us, although on a whole, if we see human birth, there is a purpose to human birth, which is growth of consciousness, and it's not me, I have not framed it. It's just our experience, and masters have talked about it. Now, each of us, each human being is in a different stage of progression. Yeah. So what I may be seeking, you may be not seeking that. You may be seeking something else. But the crux of the matter is one and identical. But at this moment of time, you may be wanting to go through different experiences, while I may be wanting to go through some other experiences which may be required for my progress. So there we come to the point that you are sharing, that what is it that I'm seeking? Can I ask myself first that? And it's good to go through all our desires and ambitions that we have planned for ourselves. And why, what I believe Jim Carrey is pointing to is that whenever I have an ambition, whenever I want to do something, we go out with a lot of intensity and force, and yes, this is what I want to do it. And somewhere, mostly what happens is that we are doing it out of a sense of incompletion. That right now I am not enough. If I have that degree, I will be enough. Yeah. If I marry, I will be enough. If I get that job, maybe move to that country, I will be enough. If I get that spiritual experience, I will be enough. So right now, this is the premise mostly where we are starting from. Right now, we are not enough. I am not enough. If I get that degree, something more I will become. Now, I believe, it's again a guess that I'm making, that I believe that he's pointing us towards this, that you will never find that completion that you are looking for in external experiences. Yeah. You will never find it there. I believe that that's what he's wanting to point us towards. So it's good to go through those experiences so that I am convinced, okay, wahan nahi mila, acha wo bhi try kiya, wahan nahi mila, acha yahan nahi mila. So through my own experiences and what Rajaji was sharing, that I give myself to my experience wholly, and I see that no experience actually can fulfill the sense of incompletion. Yes, Rajaji. Yeah. So what I am facing, I think that's what he's pointing at. But what happens is that before having my experiences, before running, because Kabirji says in one of the couplet, he says, Daudat, daudi. I have quoted it many times. I quote it again and again because I feel this is truth of our existence. दौड़त दौड़त दौड़िया जहां लगी मन की दौड़, दौड़ थके मन स्थिर भया तो वस्तु ठौर की ठौर. So he says, I ran and ran and ran in all the directions where I wanted to. The mind ran in all the directions. दौड़त दौड़त दौड़िया जहां लगी मन की दौड़. अच्छा, माइंड ने बोला ये कोर्स कर लेते हैं, तो हमने कर लिया. फिर उसने बोला अच्छा ये कर लेते हैं, वो कर लेते हैं, अच्छा लोकेशन चेंज कर लेते हैं. So we try everything to fulfill ourselves. दौड़त दौड़त दौड़िया जहां लगी मन की दौड़, दौड़ थके मन स्थिर भया. So he says, after you had ran in all directions, then something in you got convinced, oh my God, I am not really going to get it anywhere. But that conviction of settling down with your being, becoming whole and complete, and then beginning the journey comes only after I have ran enough. And that's why it's very, very important for each one of us to run enough, to go after our desires, to go after our ambitions, to fulfill what we, you were talking about dreams, to fulfill our dreams, and see where it takes us. And then the last line he says, "Daud thake man sthir bhaya, to vastu thor ki thor." So he says, what you were looking for was right here, not out there. And what is that thing? I think that's for each one of us to discover. Yes, I'll just read out. So Lakshana ji has shared something here in the chat window. We all have to go through our experiences that life brings before we are brought to a space where we realize that happiness we have been seeking is always been there. Yeah, so we have no choice to go, but to go through it. Because before going through it, I don't get settled. Imagine that somebody says, oh, if you do that, it can be really dangerous. But I'm not convinced, because for me, it seems doable. And there must be something in that impulse that I may be having. It wants to make me move forward. So I go ahead and I do it. I do it. Even with the warning of danger, I do it. So I think we must follow our natural, whatever propulsions we have, impulsions we have, so that through our experiences we learn. Because I don't think there is any point to play safe. Because in playing safe, we cannot really progress much and learn much. So yes, if it's always there within, then why would we feel motivated to fulfill our dreams? Yeah, that's the spirit of adventure. Yachika, imagine that you go out into for example, maybe forest, uncharted forest. Now, people may have gone there. And people may have experienced the beauty and the danger and everything that forest may have. But for you personally, it is your dream. Now, other people may have found it. Other people may have walked upon it. But for you, you haven't done it. Yeah. So you want to go. It's your dream to touch that forest. It's your dream to go into that dangerous zone and to explore that uncharted territory. So I think it's, I believe there may be many facets to it. I believe that it's in the spirit of adventure, because what's the fun in life? What's the fun in life if I am born with the treasure and I know I have the treasure? It's no fun. While when we play hide and seek with people, little kids, we play hide and seek. You see how much of fun it is. So they know that dad is somewhere right here, but it's fun to first lose him and then find him behind the curtain. So I think it's because the universe is based on the spirit of delight. There is a delight in something when we do it by our own self. There is a delight when I go into that forest and I explore that uncharted territory by my own self. There is a delight, joy. There may be danger, but then there is a joy also. So it's in the spirit of adventure and fun that that's what makes life beautiful. That if everyone knows the truth, what's the fun? So it will become so boring. So first, it's like hide and seek that is going on. First, it is so hidden. And then I am seeking. And in seeking, I have many beautiful experiences, some challenging, some beautiful. Yeah. And then there is joy of rediscovery. And that joy is not that once you have found it, It's not like that. It's journey that goes on ad infinitum. Yeah. So I believe that it would be in the spirit of delight and adventure that we feel motivated to fulfill our dreams, because each dream is very special. And we must go ahead and follow our natural, whatever I am propelled to follow, the path I am propelled to follow, because that is your unique path. You cannot walk on the path I or some other person has walked on, because that would be stupid and boring. So, but it would be adventurous to walk on your own path. Yeah. Yeah. So we have maybe around 10 minutes more. Those of us who haven't shared would like to share, or those of us who have shared but have more to share, more also welcome. Yeah. So Rajaji, I'm not sure what you are pointing at. You're saying empowerment makes us mad. This is why we run after so-called dreams. I'm not sure if I understand what it means. Yeah, Jasmine, anything from you? You haven't talked today. You haven't shared. Yes, Rajaji. Yes, you can text if that suits you. You can share. Yeah. Yes, anyone who wants to share anything more, there is something within that gives us the empowerment. Okay, so like a propulsion to follow the dream. I think that's what you want to share. Like a push forward to follow the dream. Yeah. Okay, Jasmine. Yeah. So Jasmine, वैसे we were today just sharing about our experiences, challenges, and how do we go through them and grow through them. That's what we were sharing. Nothing really that you missed. It's our choice to go after dreams or to find what is within us. Yeah, yeah. But I think Rajaji, it's again, I think it's our journey, individual journey, that first we have to somehow go out, have the share of experiences at the moment, at least that's what it feels. And then time to time we can consult within also. But I think those external experiences are not really external, they are internal also, because what we consider ourselves the body. So whatever is external to my body, I call it as an external experience. But the fact is not that. There is a greater truth, and that truth tells us that I'm really not limited to the body. So whatever I actually consider as an external experience can be called also as an internal experience. But since we are so limited in our sense perceptions that I consider myself as this limited body only, and rest everything does not belong to me, or I have nothing to do with that. And that's why we are suffering, for example, this climate crisis or the global situation. Now, one person says, I want to eat the bat. It's my personal choice. It's my body. I want to eat the bat. I'm just giving an example. It may not be a relevant example. Just putting out for us to think about it. Now, that person has eaten the bat, but the repercussions, whole of us have to go through. So what can be truly said internal and what is truly external? Because we are all joined, we are all connected, we are all one. So if I change my inner being, if I change my inner space, my mind space, my emotional space, it is not possible that it does not have an effect on so-called outer people, experiences, and situations. So whatever is done outside, it does impact us. And it's really amazing how we grow through each and every experience, because each experience is actually an experience happening within me. It's not happening outside of me, although it appears like that, since I consider myself a body. And I think that also brings us kind of a responsibility, social responsibility, that knowing my whole being, knowing my deeper truth is actually a social responsibility. Because if I don't know myself, if I don't care to look within, as Rajaji was sharing, then I would not be able to really understand what's happening on the outside. It's impossible that I understand in totality. So this is our social responsibility. I think knowing our true self, coming closer to my inner truth, getting myself to know better and better and better, it's our social responsibility. It's not a luxury that only few of us who have chosen this spiritual path can know their own nature and rest everyone can do whatever they want to. It's not like that. Otherwise, we'll continue to have this insensitive world. Globally, what we see, wars happening, people killing each other in the name of borders, in the name of caste, creed, color. This will continue if I don't know myself. And that's why Kabir ji, in his own couplets, he shares that it's urgency to know yourself. Know yourself with immediate urgency. Yes, Jasmine, please share.
Hi, Monica. Yeah. So I wanted, I don't know if it's in line with your topic today, but so I've been sitting with this heaviness, again, facing whatever is coming up. But I've been sitting with it over for 2 weeks. It's like this heaviness I carry. And I'm exploring it. And what my question is, I notice myself getting stuck there a lot of times. And I don't have the clarity yet, but I want to know, when do we know, when we get caught up in that, where we say, feel the bitterness or feel that a lot of things surfacing in a good way, like it's coming out. So instead of avoiding it, I'm really sitting and facing that. And I know that's not me either, but it's almost like I feel I still cannot snap out of it for my daily living, even for practical purposes, cannot snap out of it. It feels like I carry that energy in my house. Do I make sense? And I don't know where I want to go even with this, but I'm just sharing this is what it is. So if you have any insight or any sort of advice for this, to where to kind of know, so you don't get, so it's more towards growth rather than getting caught up in the loop again, the circle again. So it's not like I'm in the circle, but it's not like I'm getting out of it. So it's like I'm stuck there.
Yeah. With you, absolutely resonate with what you're sharing. Now, as I was sharing earlier before you joined, Jasmine, that each one of us, from time to time, we are given this raw material to work upon. And that is our soft spot, places where we get entangled. That's what you are sharing, that, once you're in that trap, as if you're not moving, you're just stuck there.
Yeah.
And I think this is nothing but an opportunity for growth. But when we are in the middle of that trap, we really suffer. We get frustrated because there is no growth to be seen. There is only darkness there. More like difficult time, maybe frustrating. The mind is really thinking again and again in loop, and emotionally, as you were sharing, you feel heaviness in the chest, or maybe burden in the body, and something is not right, but you are not still able to get out of it. Yeah. So again, I think this can be explored in a very variety of manner. This can be explored. One way of exploring it is that we go through that challenge and we stay with the breath. Okay. So what happens is that when I'm lost in the loop of thoughts, I lose the touch of breath. I totally lose the touch of breath, as if the breath is going on in default manner, but there is no awareness. So what I was sharing in the beginning is just like a swimmer. What a swimmer does is he goes through the waters, tuck, 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 goes through the water. So these waters are the experiences that we go through, and staying with the breath, we navigate, we go forward. And what happens with us is, since we are not taught, or we don't really know about it from the very beginning also, the importance of breath and how it connects us back to the present moment, that if you would connect with the breath and just stay with the breath and know that, okay, this is also there, this is also there, this is also there, this is also there. Okay, let me breathe through it, breathe through it, breathe through it, breathe through it. So like a swimmer, you are going on and on. And in that process, what happens, what I have seen is that whatever learning is to happen, whatever you need to learn through that process happens. It's not your doing. You did not actively engage in the mental, gymnastics. At times you may, but you did not do that in this. You just allowed yourself to navigate yourself with the breath, staying with the breath, which connects us to the present moment, to the here and now. That is just one way of exploring it, what I wanted to share. Another way of exploring it is by distraction. Mother has also shared this. Mother says that whenever you are in middle of difficulty, going through really tough time, suffering, really, you distract yourself. And you distract yourself with something higher. So I can distract myself with maybe watching something on, I don't know, some series or something. That can be my distraction. But what truly helps, according to the mother, is distracting yourself with something higher. It brings you back to the moment. No, I may learn lawn tennis. That can be one distraction. Yeah. Why this I'm sharing about distraction is because when we are in the middle of that trap, it makes it appear that main bahut kuch hu, that I am the biggest thing in your life. So it takes up a lot of energy and space in your life. It becomes like a monstrous being that you have to face. While when we distract ourselves in something beautiful, some music, some art, anything, then we see that, yes, it is there. The unresolved dot may be there. It is not resolved for me, but it's okay. Like I am more than that.
So it's like a remembrance, how you say, is the remembrance. And it's true. You kind of, I think that's what I didn't feel very present, that normally I would. And I think it's sort of like you remember, even though I know that's not what I am, but it's like I'm na main idhar kyun, na udhar kyun, so not feeling myself, or neither I'm identifying or feeling that's me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And these phases continue, I've shared many times that in times of Vedic rishis, when they would do the sadhana, they would undergo these night and days in their sadhana. Days are full of illumination. Their whole being is illumined with knowledge and truth. And then there are darker, deep, depressive challenges. Because something still has to get transformed. And these some things remain as long as we are alive. So, and there is nothing wrong about it. No, at times when we are on this path, we think that, oh my God, why is this happening with me? I thought I had gotten a hang of it, but now it's gone. But that's how the process is. That jaise hi kachra hota hai, the kachra resurfaces, the garbage resurfaces itself so that it can get cleansed.
I have a suggestion for this.
Yes, please. Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, Rajaji.
Yeah, Jasmine. I'll tell you a simple story. There was a king called Krishna Devaraya. He ruled a very big part of the India, southern part of the India. I think you might be knowing him. The Krishna Devaraya's father, he wanted to choose a minister. So those were the days there was no IAS or IPS exams to choose ministers or officers. So he simply draw a line on a slate and gave it to his team. Take this slate to each and every village, each and every town, without erasing it. If someone can make it small, you bring that person to me. So they roam around and they could not find anyone. Finally, they got one person. You know what he did? He simply put another line which is bigger than that line side by side. So now that original line appearing less. So this fellow immediately they catch hold of that person, and that is the Timanacharya, that is called Appaji. The Krishna Devaraya used to call him as Appaji. So that's how they selected that prime minister. So in your case, I know I too passed such kind of phases in my life. So you find out less privileged persons than you, help them out with money, food, or a suggestion, or a float, or books, whatever you can. So obviously, the more people you meet, you will realize that you're not facing anything different than anyone else. So I'll tell one my personal experience once I into really kind of catchy situation. So unexpectedly, I found one place where it is called hospice. No. It's a very rare presence in India. See, there are some people, they die guaranteed. Like, for example, the last phase, people suffering from cancer, for sure they will die within a week or within 2-3 weeks or within a month. They will be under a lot of physical pain, mental pain, so much. So there is a place in Hyderabad where that kind of people will be picked up from that hospitals, ICUs, and place given with a very good bed, given with very nice food. And there is a methods, there are pain relief methods. They take consent from that family members and they give some medication so that they die with less pain. So once I've been there, one of my friends told me that there is a place like that, and I've been there. You know, the thing I did, I went there and I found almost 35 people, including a 8-year-old boy, to the 75, 80 years old people suffering from more or less different cancers, heart problems, so many. Actually, after going there, I realized that the pain I am undergoing is just nothing to the pain they are passing through. The next week, what I did is, there is a famous sweet shop in Hyderabad, it's called Pullareddy Sweets. So I have purchased some 2 kgs of Pullareddy sweet. I've been there. I shared that each and every sweet to the patient or person suffering through that pain. I could see when I'm sharing that sweet, I could see the kind of spark, kind of smile in their face. That made me smile again. I felt so light, like so. Often I go there and spend some time and come back. Sometimes I go to some orphanages, old age homes. I spend some time, chit chat, share some sweets or some small gifts. So, like what are the timmers who did, like, yes, you have a line. Maybe that line is far shorter than the lines the others are passing through. Find that people, meet them. The next day you feel like I'm passing through nothing. So maybe my suggestion may feel harsh, maybe painful to listen, but I practically did it and I enjoyed the fruits. So you can do a lot underprivileged people around you. Help them. You will get answers for your problem.
Thank you. Makes sense.
Yeah, thank you, Rajaji. That's really a beautiful story, that who can make this line shorter and the other person draws a bigger line. I think that's really very powerful. One very casual example which I share often, and mother also talks about humor, how to just kind of make yourself non-serious in middle of your serious complications by adding an element of humor if we can. And then one example which I was sharing is that imagine that we are in the middle of that challenge that we are right now. All the emotional mental turmoil is going on and it means a lot to us, it's disturbing to me too much. And suddenly there is a fire wherever I am, it's like the house is burning or the place is burning. Now in that moment, what I think, Rajaji, I'm just extending what you were sharing. In that moment of fire, which is much bigger than my little trouble, the trouble just appears to vanish and I run for my life. Now the biggest challenge is, how do I save myself? Now in that moment of running and saving my life, in midst of that fire, no emotional mental turmoil has any place, any space in my life. Although it may happen, and it happens usually to us, that very often it comes again, that the moment the fire is over, here I am, all the turmoil of my life. And I'm not kidding about it, the turmoil is problematic, but we don't have any other choice but to go through it with the help of this or that or this or that, whatever works. We just go through it and learn through our experiences. Yeah, so it's really, one can laugh about what we go through as a collective consciousness, and yet that's our story. So yeah, Rajaji, thank you for joining, and yes, thank you everyone for joining. I think it's time we can also stop here. And yeah, wishing all of us more power, more grace in life, and more strength to go through all our challenges, all our breakings and experiences. Yeah, so yeah, I think Yachika, you have joined for the first time. In case you want to connect for further sessions, you can drop us your telephone number on the chat if you want to. And yeah, thank you for sharing your questions and doubts and reflections. It really benefits each one of us. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Monica.
Thank
Thank you,
you, sir.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless you all.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you,
Bye.
Ashpriya. Bye-bye.
Bye.